Steve Gamache with a Chef Knives to Go quick look product video, and this time we're looking at a Lefty single bevel knife. This is the Kitaoka left-handed version, blue number 2 Deba, 165 millimeter. The core steel is Aogami, our blue number 2 carbon steel. The heat treat rating is about 63 to 64 Rockwell, and the construction is a soft iron cladding on the front side of the knife. Over the top of that, carbon steel core, and the back side of the knife is the carbon steel core, and the front side of the knife is the single bevel. And you can see the cladding line there very easily. There's your cladding on the single bevel, the primary bevel, and there's your core steel. The back side of these knives are flat, and this is a lefty because as you hold the knife, the single bevel is on the left side of the knife versus the right side of the knife on most single bevels. And the back side is not quite flat. It is ground concave slightly, known as an urotsuki type of grind, and that helps keep food from suctioning or sticking onto the blade during use. And when you sharpen these knives, you put the back side of the blade flat on the stone, and you'll be hitting the spine area, which you can see a little marked there, and you'll be hitting the edge area, and you can see that happening towards the tip as well. And the middle will not get touched at all. The blade has engraved kanji on the front, as well as some embossed kanji on the back. The blade does have a small secondary bevel, if I can catch the light. There you can see it. So we've got a small secondary bevel on the knife in addition to the primary bevel, so it's not a zero grind on the blade itself. These are quite sharp out of the box. A knife of this type is heavy, and we'll see it's 246 grams, so it's 8.7 ounces. These are thick and heavy. It's the style of knife that it is. The blade length is 170, so it's a little over the advertised 165 length, and the overall length a little over 12 inches. The spine at the heel, it's really thick. That's what these Debas are. It's 7 millimeters, and then it will taper some and hold a lot of that until you hit the actual primary bevel, and you can see that chisel grind down, boom, right to the edge there. Then the height of the knife is pretty tall, and that is 51.2, but that's typical for a Deba style knife. The handle is a left-handed. In fact, I'll have to amend my sheet here. It's not a D handle. This is actually an oval handle. I just put that on all of them without checking it. So this is an oval, just basic hoe wood plastic handle, nothing special. The handles are inexpensive to keep the price point of the knife down a little bit lower. The other thing you might encounter when you eventually go to polish the blade road or flatten it a little bit or bring it back up the knife a little bit, when you have to thin it, might be some work involved. Since these knives are less expensive, you might have some high-low spots and a little bit of inconsistencies here and there will vary from knife to knife on the main primary bevel. So that will, again, present itself when you go to finish off the bevel and see what it looks like as you grind on it. But that's part of what you're getting for the price is less work on their end, maybe a little more work on your end down the road. Balance point, if it really matters on these, it probably doesn't too much, but you've got it right about there for the balance point. And the fit and finish is really good on the blade itself. You've got a nicely relieved neck area here. Spine's real smooth and comfortable. So really the fit and finish is quite nice on the blade itself. So just in comparison, you've got a 165 Deba, and it doesn't sound much bigger, but when you go up to the 180 Deba, this is like 10.6 ounces. This is 8.7. So this is a lot heavier knife, and it's a much more substantial blade than the 165. So it depends what size fish you're processing with these knives, which size you end up with. But, the 180 is quite a bit more substantial knife than the 165. So there you have the Kitaoka left-handed blue number 2 Deba 165 millimeter.